Good afternoon, everyone. This is Matt over at Milestone Capital Growth Portfolio.com. Today is Monday, May 4th, and I want to do something a little bit different today. I am going to crank through a bunch of the indexes so you could see the rotation on the money. And what I'm going to do is use a weekly chart. Okay, so each candle is identified as a week. So I just want to go ahead and see if we can hit several of these right now and get rid of some of these lines that I have on here, because inside all of these indexes we have the tickers that we play. So just so you can get an idea of where you are and where your position for. As you can see, the gambling index has been pretty much in a downtrend for quite some time now and working out very well. Any bounce, it just comes up to this trend line right here and then retraces. So could we have a double bottom right here and get a bounce up to the upside? Well, take a look at Win and LVS and stocks like that and you will see. All right, let's look right at the banks. Well, the banks were in a downtrend. They were. Yes, and now as you can see, it broke the downtrend line and is starting to head higher, so it looks good. Relative strength index is at 58. Look for this one to keep coming up here and probably make new highs here. It's looking great. The bank index is looking great. Okay, so let's get into marine transports, and you can see you have a consolidation box going on right now. There's real no trade set up right here. You don't see much movement. You're just in this consolidation zone until you're not. Okay, but it's better than it coming straight down. It has decided to regain the middle Bollinger Band here and hold it for two candles for 2 weeks now. So how long will it do it for, or will it? So real nice here. We'll have to keep an eye on this one, because if it holds this and breaks this box to the upside and then these two wicks right here, it could get moving to the upside and maybe catch the 50-day moving average. Relative strength index is at 43. Let's move on here to healthcare. I don't want to get into it too much detail, but healthcare, look for a double bottom support right now. Relative strength is a little bit high. Look for the middle Bollinger Band if it comes any lower to be support here. I'm sorry, it's going to be the middle Bollinger Band. That's right, and as it was here, but it did come down on a healthy dip over here and hit the 50-day. This extension is a little bit more right here, so it's going to be very aggressive if it turns that corner. But right now, it's still in a beautiful pattern to the upside. Can't beat that. All right, next we're going to look at let's see, electricity index. All right, great. Same thing, consolidation, but you have a double bottom low here, and now you have some consolidation right here. So once this box breaks, then you're going to see something happen. But this is great right here. You could see nice support on these four bottoms right here. Resistance up at these candles up here. We'll drop this down and we'll use the bodies first. So it's just getting ready to do something. Will it go higher or will it go lower? Relative strength is right in the middle at 50, so we don't know yet. But let's move on to the steel. All right, steel we know has been doing very well. Maybe you don't, but we do, because we're in several of the companies that have been doing fantastic. But as you can see off this double bottom here, it made a new double bottom here, another double bottom here, and we'll probably get a double bottom over here somewhere. The current trade path is where the support is right in this area here, so it's not broken. It's looking really good. You can see after it breaks a downtrend line what takes place. If we run these candles here, you can see the change, and even though it did break it right here and it was a little overbought at the time, every time it came back down it held support and created its new double bottom. So now we have this beautiful trend to the upside and getting ready to break higher. But steel is looking very nice for a nice setup, longer term trade here. You can see the financial index has just been cranking to the upside, okay, and there is no signs of it slowing. So you have this double top right here. Look for this to take place again, and that'll give it a triple top. What will happen after that, I'll let you know after it happens. All right, 50-day holding support here for utilities, pretty tight. It don't know how long it's going to hold it for, but you have a triple bottom right here, and then you slowly climb into the upside. But notice your Bollinger Band has rounded to the downside. So right now you are in an uptrend, and we'll have to see if this holds and it continues to move to the upside. So the utility stocks are still looking pretty good right here. All right, let's get right into coal. Coal had a nice little bottom bounce here and consolidated. Then we did it again, and now we're up over the middle Bollinger Band here, which is the 20 SMA. I don't have the upper and the lower showing. The 20 is all I need for myself on this one, and you can see here this is doing really well. Look for this one actually to probably come up and test this 50, But what I'd like to see first is this trend line be completely broken, and right now it is not. So we'll have to see what happens right there. If it hits this trend line, it will rip down to the downside or blow right through it. All depends on your relative strength index. Remember, this is weekly. All right, let me catch a couple more here. More utilities here. Water utilities. All right, so water is doing pretty well, holding that middle Bollinger Band so far. Also, just being milked across the top. It is in an uptrend and a downtrend. So let this one decide which way it's going to go before it gets parabolic for us. And very profitable. But right now, this is the support for the uptrend, and you can see your downtrend is from here to here. So it is getting ready to do something. Keep an eye on that water. And if you need all the tickers for all this stuff, we have them on our forum. Plus, we manage them as we need to. So you can see here also on healthcare, same thing. You're in a consolidation box right now, but kind of heading lower right here. There's really no push for the upside yet. We'll have to keep an eye on this one. If this one breaks, you can see it comes down to the 50, and the extension is pretty far. So as these extensions get farther, keep an eye on them really getting toasty. Okay, pharmaceuticals, they are coming in for a landing. They found a little bit of a support, but remember, we get some distance to the 50, and I like using the 50 because the weeklies are better. So we're going to get some resistance right here before it starts to do something, head down or up. We don't know, but it always holds this that middle Bollinger Band. If it does continue to hold this middle Bollinger Band, then you will see it get higher and higher, continue to the upside. Okay, wireless comm, they've been doing very well. Okay, they've been doing fantastic. Great move off this double bottom right here. You can see that, and it's a nice distance away from the middle Bollinger Band here. It's probably right in the upper Bollinger Band. Our relative strength index is at 56. Probably going to come in for a double top there. Now we're moving into defense stocks. Defense stocks have been doing really well, except for we are just taking a break right now. And as you can see, we're in a very tight situation, and there will be a determination on which way we go after. Actually, let's run it off of this one here to this one here, and you can see as we zoom this in, if we're going to use these two wicks right here, low wicks, that it's pretty much tight right here, so it's going to decide one way or another on this break. Okay, so moving forward here, we're going to go to biotechnology. Biotechnology, same setup. We're just really channeling to the downside, so be careful. When this blows, it's going to hurt, and you can see relative strength index is at 55, and once we hit this, we could pull all the way down to this area over here, so keep an eye on that. Now we're moving into let's see, what are we looking at? Telecommunications index is looking really well. It has a nice little channel going right here, so it's definitely a tradable channel. There's enough liquidity in here, and here's your box right here. So let it get to the upper box again, and you're going to see what's going to happen. Your relative strength index will be a little bit high, and then it'll play to the downside, and downside would be based on this current slow uptrend line right here. So you'd be able to play it from here to here versus anything else, but it's in that uptrend right now. So let's get into industrials. Industrials are holding very well right here above the middle Bollinger Band, and just accumulating across. No real power to the upside or downside at this point. So that it's a little bit different of a story from moving up here and so on and so forth. But it's consolidating and just keeps going up, and you can see that here. You consolidated and it moved up. Now you're consolidating, and if it's going to move up, you'll have to see what happens in the near future. So consumer non-cyclical, holding the middle Bollinger Band right now and doing the same thing, but not just really chopped. Nothing spectacular is going on right here. But if you could look at the bodies of these candles, it has broken. No, it hasn't. It held it as support. My apologies. Okay, so it has held it as support, and for now, we'll have to see what happens. But again, same thing is coming in on most of these charts. As you notice that, you're getting these funky wedges here, and until they break on either side, those will be your signals to play that sector and grab some of those stocks. But you're looking for the low side to the high side, or the high side to the low side, depending on how you play. So consumer services index the same way, looking really good here in a consolidation box, and except for it's making its high box and low box, so it's a full pattern here from top to bottom. But you do have your double top, these two here, this one here, and you really don't have too much of a bottom. So we're gonna have to see what happens with this one, and we'll keep a close eye on it. So moving on here, I got a few more I'm going to hit here. Technology, of course, technology is fantastic. Top of the box, came back in the box. It tried to get outside the box, but it did not do it. And this consolidation box is set up for technology to come back down. Technology looks to drop right here and pull in, maybe catch the middle Bollinger Band as some support. Okay, moving on to real estate. Real estate found the 50. It found the 50. Nice drop down to the 50 here. It's going to be in a tight trend right here, but this is a little bit blown out of proportion. So this is a very good thing that's happening with this. And you can see we have nice support here Let's draw this out a little bit better so you can see it here. So there's some nice support in here, and right at the 50, caught it pretty good. Little bounce, nothing spectacular. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's going to lose it, and if it does, then it's probably going to come down to the 200. But it's going to drift. It's going to follow this line so far in this pattern to drift to the downside. And if that's the case, then you can plan a little bit better to what you're doing on your real estate stocks. And also, we're going to look at semiconductors here, trying to regain the middle Bollinger Band, but it did not do it. It's right there on the week. We're going to have to see how this week plays out. If it stays under, look for the 50 pretty easily, but you can see it's starting to drift. It's starting to drift nicely to the downside. There's nothing spectacular here pushing it to the upside. So you had a couple little breaks over it, but it came back in pretty hardcore. So you can see semiconductors are getting a little bit overextended here from here to here, and you can see that on most of the charts. So let's hit another one here. We're gonna hit the railroads. Hit the railroads. Railroads are in trouble. Yep, railroads are in trouble. All right, so a little consolidation off this big drop here, but you can see it's in a downtrend under the 50. Trend is to the downside, and it's going to meet resistance. It's going to end up breaking this at some point and resetting somewhere, and potentially we can, on a big move, we can get back down to the 200-day moving average. But you are going to get a little bounce here and there in this chop before it decides what to do. Remember, if it breaks this, we resume the uptrend, and that's on all charts. So apparel and retailers, trying to hold this middle Bollinger Band. UA should hopefully turn soon and fix this, but just kidding. Whatever the case may be, UA has been fantastic for us from 43 to 83. You know that. You've been watching the videos. Here's the current trend line right now on UA. It's looking pretty tight area right here, and we'll have to see what happens if I extend this out a little bit more. But they're taking a nice healthy break, and that's fine. I mean, these things have been moving since forever in a day, and the market has been doing fantastic. So we have this pretty much a trade channel. You're still in an uptrend until you're not, and when you're not, you'll be breaking this right here. I got a 4 more to hit, or somewhere in there. Basic materials, pretty much in a trade, just a consolidation box, not doing anything exciting right here, just sitting here. Okay, but it is making lows and trying to get higher, but it's really not at this point, and we just have to watch that. So look for materials to come back down, head back down to the downside now after we've hit this resistance. That's 9 times out of 10. That's what takes place. That's why we're technical traders and only technical traders. And you can see here, oil and gas has come up, and it's starting to take a little break from its recent move, which was very nice. It's played very well for us. This short-term trend line here is probably going to be broken, and on tomorrow's candle or the next day, and sometime this week, and you'll probably get a reset down here at the middle Bollinger Band somewhere, maybe a little bit lower, hopefully not, but we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, you can see your stochastics again ready to turn. Your relative strength index only at 52, nothing spectacular, but we break this trend line, then you know it's going to stop falling down. This is why you follow all your sector indexes. Okay, so you can see 200-day moving average coming off of this bounce, very nice, and that's meeting as resistance. And also the same thing, you're going to look for a pullback right down to the middle Bollinger Band, and if it breaks the middle Bollinger Band, now that's getting ugly. But for now, the middle is going to save you for the upside. Same here with more oil stuff. So this is the third oil that we looked at here, and you can see the same pattern. Basically, look for them to pull back down, take a little bit of a break. No big deal, it'll be fun. But we have those in the chat room, so make sure you stop in or on the website, and we're trading those right now with options. Several of these actually, some of the best movers. We look for the high ATRs and work off of that. So construction, home construction, really not doing anything spectacular, and I don't. It looks like it's going to be coming down a little bit more here. Probably catch one of these two lines here on this full move to the downside on the weekly. We're going to stop at the 50-day moving average and get a bounce, and probably work off of this trend line right here using the wicks off the top of this. So if you use the tops of this, then you get a nice little bounce up here. But the continued trend until this breaks will be to the downside. So enjoy that. Because it's going to work out very well if you know what tickers to play. Okay, we got a nice little bounce here on aluminum. Aluminum has been great. We've been trading this one. This is another one that we've had some fun with, and you can see the trend line on this one from the top here. You can run this down if you want, and just mark that off where it potentially could go on this bounce, and estimate your time frame and draw this out. You can see where your support is on the downside right here. So you catch this and plan this out, and on this pullback, no big deal. Make sure you keep an eye on this, and if everything resets properly, then we should start tracking up to this downtrend line, because it isn't a downtrend, and it's definitely playable on this bounce right here. One more after this, airlines. Airlines are confused, and that's all there is to it. But you can see here they have support, and it just makes lower lows, which is not good, and trends to the downside. Okay, so I mean, I can't even draw a trend on this one. This is just poop. Any bounce off the lower box here should come up and hit this area, but it hasn't yet. So it's really starting to fail a little bit here. And if it continues to fail, you're going to see it probably pull back down to this area, maybe a little bit lower. Last one here, we're going to look at the gold and mining index. We get a double top coming in for gold right here. It's had a beautiful move off of this, and you can see here that we actually broke the trend line that was in place before, and well, actually we're close right there. If we use the wicks, we're close. If we use the bodies, we're back underneath it, and we tried. So it's the same basic concept here. It was brought all the way up to its resistance point, and now it's back inside its resistance point. Look for a pullback somewhere around the middle Bollinger Band area, but you can also run your trend line off of your low candles to your mid candles. You can see here, this has always acted as support, so this channel is the same thing until it gets to a pinch and decides which way it's going to go. So for now, the trade zone is getting smaller as it was bigger over here. So now we're getting smaller, beautiful consolidation, and you can see hopefully we'll get a full reversal off of this. All right, this is Matt over at milestonecapitalgrowthportfolio.com. Remember, if you want to trade these as we watch these and pull out the tickers on the ones that matter, make sure you become a member today and go to milestonecapitalgrowthportfolio.com and go over to the Join Us tab and pick gold. Gold is probably your best, and you will do just fine for the rest of your life. All right, lots of learning going on. We've had tons of seminars. We were just in Portland. We'll be coming up to New York soon, and we're doing some online seminars also. So the learning is endless, and the winning and planning is just unbeatable. Have yourself a great night.